more.
Lunch break!
Hey guys, look who we have on lunch break today. It is our good friend JunCurryAhn.
Hello. You don't say.
Oh.
Today it's June, just June, and I can't believe it's been 2 years since we've had you on lunch break. We were waiting for you to become a famous K-pop star before you came back. And you have done that. BJ had a song of Who's It Gonna Be, and it was clearly always gonna be June. You actually just released a music video for your own song.
Congratulations, man.
Is this your technically your second original?
So my first single was last year in November called When I Call. This is technically my second single. It's called Hold It Down.
What's the song about?
I mean, if we just strictly talk about the lyrics, it's basically like a girl in my life is basically limiting what I can do and kind of like holding me down.
Oh, it's the opposite of like, I'll hold you down, like I'll support you.
No, it's like
so it's
kind of like
I'll hold you back.
So basically like, that's the lyric, but then it's like transitions in the midpoint where I'm starting to get a little bit more confident, a little bit more sure about like what I want. So it's not that she's leading me on, it's actually that she actually needs me. So that's why I'm holding it down. So it's about how I feel limited in what I can do. Just because I've always been in my comfort zone, right? So I've been always like holding down myself and not letting me express myself until the end. That's when I realized take the risk and do what I really want to do and express myself.
You've definitely expressed yourself by just making the video. That's already a lot more than a lot of people can do. Some people can't even tweet.
I feel like it's very relatable when it comes to like the creative mindset or the artist mindset. It definitely takes a lot to just take that plunge too. I feel like in a lot of ways, like Phil, you've taken that risk with our series Yappy.
Right.
You know, like that was like extremely personal and something that you've been hesitant to kind of go forward with.
I do think like being Asian, you know, you're brought up a lot of times to like not think you're special. If anything, your parents say, not good enough, or like someone else does it better than you. So I definitely felt like growing up, I was like, oh yeah, I'm just very mediocre at everything. And even despite Huang Fu's views or subscribers, like I still felt, oh yeah, like we're just okay. And maybe I can't express myself the way I want. And so when Yappy came around, that was like kind of like a turn for me too, where I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna like own up to my own personal experience or voice and do things kind of like how I want to. So it took me like into my 30s. So good job getting there a little earlier. Do you feel like there was this turning point for you too as JunCurryAhn, the YouTuber slash violinist?
That turning point for me was personally because last year, like around like April, I was at KCON Mexico and I was performing on stage and like literally halfway into it, something like clicked in my brain saying like, why am I doing this? I feel like I started YouTube as a hobby, like personally because I wanted to keep playing violin, right?
You wanted to keep playing violin?
Yeah. So that's why I started YouTube. Like I only did covers I wanted to, but I felt like I started ending up only doing covers that was gonna get the views. So as a cover artist, I kind of lost that passion and drive. Why am I trying to get famous for someone else's music? But I regained that love for being a cover artist after talking with AJ actually. Because I grew up watching Huang Fu, right, all the time.
God.
I was a fanboy at his Princeton meetup.
Oh God.
I don't think he remembers, but so I grew up as a fan watching YouTube. So for me with AJ, for example, I went to him because I wanted to hear his interpretation of how he did a Justin Bieber song, and that kind of made me realize why I'm doing this, right? So that was my turning point, and When I Call was kind of like a little dip in the water, right? And then would Hold It Down, I literally got drenched.
I guess you could kind of say like this term late bloomer. What's a late bloomer?
There's different areas where you can be a late bloomer. It's usually like you develop things after everyone else by societal norms.
Whether that be looks, personality, and you feel guilty for not being there.
Let's be honest here, June. Like, you know, even though you say that at that moment on KCON stage in Mexico, you had this epiphany. The fact that you were already even on that stage is already a huge accomplishment, right? So some people would already think that he already figured it out or he already had a great career. But like even getting there, like you probably had another turn to even get to that point, right?
Yeah.
We've seen the early June videos.
This hair wasn't always this color.
Nope, it wasn't.
I feel like that's like a late blooming, like when people first start experimenting with their looks. And I was super late on that.
You didn't even go all the way.
Yeah.
He just did
Like
like
light blue. Yeah.
When did you guys all start doing stuff with your hair?
Actually, I was a late bloomer with that because my friends and cousins were doing it. They wanted me to get highlights.
Like in like middle school, high
Yes,
school?
middle school.
Middle
And, like,
school?
I was
Oh, wow, so
honestly,
early.
I was taking pride in that I was the only one with black hair.
Right.
I dyed it for the first time 3 years ago.
So that's late for
Yeah.
girl standards.
Because by then everyone was experimenting. Like
Now you sold
red.
out. Younger girls are gonna look at you and they're like, Jen?
Sold out.
Jen is so, yeah, like, I'm proud of my
It
black
is
hair.
like
unlike
once you
Jen.
do it, I feel like you can't go back, right?
I haven't gone back.
You went back.
You didn't go.
I will.
Yeah, you didn't even go there.
And I actually did go pretty further for BGA
BGA.
shoot.
Oh, you did.
Remember?
Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
But that was because I was forced to for the shoot.
But it was also not
Thank you,
like a
June.
vibrant color.
Yeah, it was just a little brown.
Yeah.
When did you first start?
I had like the highlights thing back in the day, right? So I think that was 8th grade, I think.
Wow.
Was that the bleach tips?
Yeah,
Like,
just the bleach tip. So you know like how you
The
did your
frosted.
bleach
Yeah.
tips.
So
right?
I was like 15 years late. You still haven't done it.
I don't have the desire to.
Your hair's so black.
I don't think I pull it off.
That's what I thought too. But then people were like, oh yeah.
Yeah, people still don't know if you pulled it off. Yeah, you look.
I was waiting for that.
I followed that up for you. There's so much growing up that I was like so afraid to do with like my looks like that I saw other kids do.
I still have that.
Yeah, you're still there. You're like, man.
I wore this shirt the first lunch break. Go back.
What?
I think I wore this the first lunch break or the
So
second lunch break.
So your
Nothing
wardrobe
has
hasn't
changed.
changed.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Wardrobe is another thing too. Like I think that takes another level of confidence where you see how other people can try something so confidently. Or even going shopping at certain stores. I remember in high school being afraid to go in there because I didn't want like people to judge me.
Yeah.
What are you doing here?
Are you shopping for your brother?
Or even worse, when you were like so young that your mom had to go shopping and then you had to be like seen with your mom. That was even more terrifying.
At least you guys did not have to deal with makeup.
Late bloomer makeup.
Let's talk about
That
that.
was definitely me, like a late bloomin', because I only started really like 3-4 years ago. And even now I don't wear like too crazy. I still get scared to like delve into different categories because there's so many.
Did people like call you out for that? Like say, oh, you don't wear makeup?
No.
Yeah.
No one really cared.
Yeah. But
I think it was my internal. Yeah. I think I didn't wear makeup at first because my mom used to cake it on for ice skating competitions. And I think I was just like traumatized.
Yeah, guys didn't have to deal with that. I'm trying to think though, what girls didn't have to deal with. Oh, this goes into like gender roles too though, but it's like just being cool with girls or whatever, or like being like a player, or like like
Playing the game.
Yeah.
They're dating.
I mean, I guess that's dating in general, but like hitting on girls or
Flirting.
being like
Just being flirted,
being flirty and
flirtatious.
stuff. In high school or middle school, like you're expected to like ask girls out.
I was late in that. I was late in all these. Click the box, all the above.
I think the biggest thing for me with that was like getting someone's number. Something that was late blooming that actually happened 2 years ago, and that was my first time I ever asked a girl for a number.
Oh,
And
wow.
that was Caroline.
That was
Eric
just
was
2
literally
years
there.
ago.
That was just 2 years ago. Yeah.
And look how it worked out.
I mean, at the same time, it wasn't like me asking for a number to actually just like date somebody. It was actually because
no.
I needed to cast them for a photo shoot.
Oh God.
But still,
same thing.
regardless, asking a girl, a stranger, for a number, that was my first time that I've ever.
So you pastored your girlfriend basically.
Exactly.
On the flip side, I think I was on the other end where I never get asked that stuff. So like I think maybe in college one time it happened and I was very confused. Like I thought he was playing a prank on me or like an experiment because I'm just like, this never happened.
It's like so rare that you thought it was
Yeah,
fake.
because many blooms. I was very, very quiet. That girl that no one paid attention to in high school. Once college happened and I was like talking more and being more social and people were talking to me naturally, I was very weirded out. I was like, this is something I've never experienced in my
College
life.
is like a time for you to kind of reinvent yourself and like try new blooms.
Yeah, and
Right?
people won't know if it's later or early or
Yeah.
not.
So do you have friends from your high school days that see you on lunch break here talking so much that are like, when you go back to your high school reunion, are people going to be like, that's Jen, she did this and that?
People have messaged me.
Oh,
Who I
guys.
haven't talked to in like
Guys.
5-6 years. See, I think it's a weird, like, I mean, success in general, right? I feel like people always come back to you. Like, I didn't really have friends in high school, and like, these people I talked to in class, I remember they would write, this is so sad. They wrote in my yearbook, they'd be like, oh, you seem so nice. I wish I talked to you more. And I'm like, why wish? You could have. You could have.
As someone that has written those things, I mean, that's just a nice thing you say to people.
Yeah.
We
The
ended up
popular
meeting-
ASB guy here.
I do think when people talk about late bloomers though, it's usually more superficial stuff.
Yeah.
It's usually just like how someone looks or acts.
Which shows you how judgy society is for people who don't meet that expectation.
Or even like, you know, with your situation where it's like, if they had just known you and just known that you weren't necessarily like late, it's just that you were just on your own process. And
Like there's a separate timeline for every single person, right? And how your personality matches with what like societal norms are, right? But because you're saying it's a late bloomer, that like kind of establishes the fact that there's a certain set timeline that everyone needs to kind of follow.
Right. So when you go back to high school, are people like, who's that guy?
I actually didn't really have too many friends in high school either, too. Like my high school friends, whenever I do meet up with them, you know, for example, they don't call me Chiu. They call me Jun.
Why?
Like middle school to high school, there was a girl named June in school, and I was like, being the little boy I was like, I don't want to have a girl's name. So I was like, call me Jun instead.
Wow.
So everyone from high school, even my sister, still calls me Jun. But now that I'm a little bit more into the Korean culture, and Jun actually is chun is a pancake. So there's pajun, there's a seafood jun, there's like kimchi jun and stuff like that.
God,
So when I
there's so
say
many types of Juns.
yeah, so many types of juns, right? So
That should be your next merch.
That's funny.
Junjun.
Like a pancake.
a pancake,
That should be your like mascot.
a chun,
so
a kimchi
cute.
jun.
You should totally do that. Taylor, you obviously, you know, you were cool from the get-go.
I still have friends in high school.
They still call you Taylor. At the same time, here's the other thing. Do you like it when people notice though? Or is that weird? Basically, that basically acknowledges that you have changed, right?
You should change.
Okay.
If you're the same person you were like 10 years ago, that's sad.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, that's really mean sounding, but like it just means you're developing and
Okay.
you like grew to be a better person.
So you're saying
hopefully a
so
better
you're
person.
saying that people should be blooming all the time.
Yeah.
Okay.
People wrote in my yearbook, don't change.
Wait a second.
That's true.
Taylor's getting the
You're so cool, don't ever change. And I was like, okay.
and he's taking that to heart. She just called you sad. That's true.
Ignore them.
Just do you. Do you and encourage your friends. Don't bring other people down. You know, if they're curious, if they want to try things, be uplifting.
I'm really happy that you took this leap and like started chasing your own music. It's been great to hear it, and like everything you're doing is really inspiring.
All right, everyone, go follow the links below to watch Jun's new video about making pancakes. That's the real hidden meaning of the music video.
Yes.
Thanks for being here, man. Congratulations. New episodes every Thursday of lunch break. We'll see you guys next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye.